Hello Techies, welcome back to Techie Uday. In our last series of videos, we have been seeing what is recursion, what is a function execution flow. We have seen when you call any method, how the method actually executes in our code flow. In this video, we are going to cover what is a body recursion and how we can use the body recursion in our daily problem solving. So let's see what is body recursion. Right. The body recursion. Whenever you're doing some action before recursive call and after recursive call, that we can treat as body recursion. Famous algorithms like DFS and problems like Tower of Hanoi actually uses body recursion in their algorithm. What the body recursion? Let's see example here. This example, we have a method body recursion and we are passing argument n. See, here's the base case. What is the base case and what is the significance of base case and what if we miss the base case? If you miss the base case, what happens? That I have already explained in my previous video. If you did not watch the video, please go and watch the video before continuing further. This is the base case here. If n greater than 0. What if n is equal to 0? Yes, that is the terminal point. This is the base case here. If n greater than 0, we are getting inside the function, printing the n value, and then calling a recursive method again, and then printing the n value again. On seeing this function, what would be your intuition? Let's see that in our IDE to get better understanding. This is the same function that we have seen just now. This is the base case and we are printing the n value and calling recursive method again and printing the n value again. I call demo body recursion here. So in the main method, in the call stack, I see one main method and this main method is waiting on this line to complete demo body recursion. And the control transfers to demo body recursion with the n value 5. You can see the n value 5 here. So we have a main method and then in the call stack, the demo body recursion with n value 5 has been added to the call stack. Now, when we continue the execution, we are doing some action. First printing the n value. We observe the console, the n value is printed, the action has been already started before you call that method. So calling the recursion method or calling any other method, that depends on how we are actually writing the program. I have seen so many developers, particularly juniors who are new to the programming, we are often confused about this method calling and method execution flow. To get deeper understanding of these function flows and how the function actually works behind, you need to understand how the execution flow affects the state of the program each and every line. Here, in this example, the first line is already completed. Now, the function with n equal to 5 is calling the demo body recursion function with the value n minus 1. Here, we are decrementing the value by 1. What if we do not decrement the value? It again leads to the stack overflow exception. I have explained this in my previous video very clearly. You can go and watch the video to get better understanding. If you do not change the n value, the recursion function, this condition never met. So the n value can never be less than 0 or equal to 0. So since the n value is always greater than 0, this leads to the infinite calling of this recursive function that leads to stack overflow exception. With n value n minus 1, I'm calling the method again, and where I'm calling that method, I'm calling this method inside a method with n equal to 5. Now, when I execute n equal to 4, now inside it is printing, now n equal to 4 is printed, and now I'm calling the recursive method again with n value n minus 1. n minus 1 is now 3. So 3. If you see, 5 has been printed, but this method execution is not completed. This method is still waiting on this line to complete. But this method is also not completed, is still waiting on this line. And now this method is just started, is executing, printed the number. But again, this method is not completed, it is waiting for n equal to 2 to complete. So in the same way, n equal to 1. n equal to 1 also called this method with the value n equal to 0. Since n equal to 0, this condition fails. Since this condition fails, this n equal to 0 method call has been completed. So who is waiting for that method call? N equal to 1 is actually waiting for this function call to complete, to continue its action. So n equal to 0 function has been completed without doing anything. Now it's time for n is equal to 1 to continue its execution from this line. Let's see that. So since n equal to 1, this line number 16 has been completed. So it is continuing its execution from the next line. From the next line, it is trying to print the n value. What is the n value? The n value is 1. So it go ahead and prints that n value. The n value has been printed. Now the n equal to 1 function call is now completed. But who is waiting for that function to complete? The function with n equal to 2 is waiting for the function with n equal to 1 to complete its action. Now n equal to 1 function has been completed. So the execution immediately transfers to the n equal to 2 function, the next line. Now we are here. N equal to 2 functions, next line. After calling this method with n minus 1 value, the n value is 2 and is continuing its execution. The same repeats. N value 3, n value 4, and now n value 5. And you see, this method is actually the method which is called from the main method. The n value 5 method is now completed, and finally the control returns to the main method. Now all the calls in the main method has been completed. Now the program terminates. So this is how the body recursion works. Not only body recursion, any recursion or any normal method also works in the same way. When you call a method, the control immediately goes to that method, execute that first, and come back to the caller function. I have explained this clearly in my previous videos. If you did not watch those videos, please watch those videos to get clear understanding. Don't feel like we are going too slow. I have seen many people, especially juniors, often confused about these method calls. That's why I'm explaining each and every detail. Going further in our videos, we don't focus in this level. Since this is the very basics, I am explaining all these concepts line by line. So hope you understand what is a body recursion. So this is a body recursion, but where we can actually use this body recursion? Many algorithms like DFS and problems like Tower of Hanoi and some problems on LeetCode, HackerRank actually uses body recursion to solve these problems. Also, whenever you want some symmetric behavior in our program, like traversing the trees, left, right, Tower of Hanoi, do some actions on n minus 1 items first, and then nth item, then n minus 1 item. So all these problems comes under this body recursion. We'll also see these problems in our coming videos. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye.